Alright, so this is when things start getting a little bit more difficult. So we're on the second part where the first question says, or not the first question, but what it's asking you to do is write the quadratic equation in vertex form. So let me go ahead and choose a color here. I'm going to choose pink for right now. But it says write it in vertex form. Now we've talked about vertex form a little bit. And so what I want you to do is, the first thing we need to do is identify what our vertex is. Now we've already done that already, but I'm going to go ahead and remind you that my vertex was here. And this vertex is the point 1, and let me change colors because that's kind of hard to see. My point, and I'm going to recolor that, is 1, 3. So this is my vertex. And we can plug this into this formula. This is my vertex form. And I can plug that in. Remember, 1, and sorry, let me get a little more situated here. 1 would be my h value. 3 would be my k value. And we're just going to plug that in. So let's go back here. We have f of x equals a x minus h. So I'm going to rewrite this. This becomes a here. X minus, what's my h? 1. Now let me kind of stop right here. I'm going to rewrite f of x here. But I want to make sure some people get something here. Notice, my x value here is positive. It's a positive 1. But notice here, I'm subtracting 1. It's kind of the opposite when we do that. So if your x value for your vertex was negative, then it would be plus that number. So let's say your x value was -1, then it would be +1. But again, mine's a positive 1, so it would be a -1. So I just wanted to make sure I said that. And then plus k, well, what's my y value for my vertex? It's 3, so it's going to be plus 3. And again, it's actually going to be the same sign for the k value. So it's positive here, so it's positive here. Again, the h is opposite, so here's positive. Here we kind of have a negative or a -1 here. Now, of course, it'd be nice if this was all we needed, but we need this little thing called a. This is important. We need to figure out what a is. The way we do that is we choose another point on our graph. It can be any other point other than our vertex. And the point I chose, because it looks nice, is this point right here. And if you can see, and of course my pen's messing up again, this right here looks like it intersects at a very nice spot. So that point would be -1, 2. So I like this point. Now you may be asking, what do we do with this point? Well, this point has an x value and a y value. So -1 is my x, 2 is my y. And what I'm going to do is plug that back into this. Now you may be asking, well, where's my y? Remember, f of x means the same thing as y. So I'm going to make 2 go into y. So this becomes, not y. This becomes 2, because 2 is my y value for my new point, equals, we don't know what a is. X for my new point was -1, so I'm going to put -1 here. -1 squared, sorry, that should be a squared, plus 3. Now we're going to solve this problem for a, because notice all I don't know right now is a, and so we can actually go ahead and solve it. Well, -1 minus 1 is actually -2, so this is 2. I'm going to take it one step at a time. This is a times -2 squared. Now again, you should know what that is, but I'm just going to again kind of take it slow. What's -2 squared? 4. So this actually is 2 equals, and I know this color may be annoying some people, so let me go ahead and maybe use a blue here. -2 squared is 4, so this is really 4a plus 3. Now I can go ahead and solve. I'm going to rewrite this 2 here. I can go ahead and solve 4a. I'm going to do that by subtracting 3. And we get, I'm going to move down here, I get -1 equals 4a. And guess what? I'm going to make sure that looks more like a 4. There we go. And again, the last thing I need to do is get a by itself. I'm going to divide by 4. And I get a cancel that out, I get a equals negative 1/4. Now I want to point something out. Notice my a value is negative, and that makes sense because my parabola opened downward. Anytime your parabola opens downward, your a value should be negative. Also, my parabola is wide. Because my parabola is wide, my a value is going to be more than a fraction. It's going to be some number between 0 and 1, or between -1 and 0. It's going to have an absolute value less than 1. And so to rewrite my whole formula, all I'm going to do is take this value for a and plug it back into this line here. So this line right here, all it was missing was a. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, bring it down here. And so my problem in vertex form is as such: f of x equals, my a value is negative 1/4, x minus 1 squared plus 3. Now this is probably going to be one of the more longer videos. I just want to kind of recap what I did. The first thing I do is find my vertex, which I did here, and let me use a different color here. We'll use this green here. I found my vertex. Whatever that point is, which in my case was 1, 3, I plug in for h and k, making sure that if it's kind of the opposite here when it deals with the h value. Once I do that, I have to pick another point, which I did here at -1, 2, and plug that in for the x and y value, or you can say the x and f of x. So I plug that in. I plugged in -1 for x and 2 for y, and then I solve for a, following our order of operations. Once I get my a value, I then plug that back into the problem before I started solving for a, and in that case it gave me this. This is my problem in vertex form. Next, we're going to talk about how do we put that in standard form. So hope this helps. I know it's a little bit longer video, but hopefully this will help you in doing your project.